Rev up your engines! All right, I have an interesting tale today. This guy got rid of two 8-year-old Nissans, and for only $9,000 extra, he traded them in and got two beautiful Lexuses that had just a little over 100,000 miles on each of them. He had a Maxima and he had a Nissan Frontier. He loved them, but they were getting old. They had a lot of miles on it. So he made the mistake of buying newer Nissans, an Altima and a Juke for himself and his wife, not realizing the CVT problems that they have on them. But then, when they were 8 years old, he thought, well, people are kind of giving crazy money away. So he checked our Carvan on the other places, and he got quite a bit of money for them, so that he ended up getting these two Lexuses by trading those in and only paying $9,000 of all the other costs to have two nice Lexuses instead of two horrible Nissans with CVTs. You can work the system if you use your head. Now, aside from the headlights being a little fuzzy that all Lexuses do, my wife's did too and I replaced them. This one's in excellent shape. It's an RX 350, an ES 350, about the same color as my wife's car. You can see it's in excellent shape. It had just a little over 100,000 miles on it. Now we'll start with the SUV. As we can see inside, this particular one was made in Canada. Same place my wife's Matrix was made. Now, as you all know, I love the ones made in Japan, but the ones made in Canada, they're pretty close. Take, for example, the other day, one of the viewers emailed me, and he'd bought a used Matrix in 2007. It was a 2005. You know, there's over 1 million miles on that thing. It was made in the same factory this one was made in Canada. The Canadians are pretty good at building Japanese cars. There's no arguing that. This one has the typical V6 Toyota engine in it. Now you can see the beauty cover is gone. Hooray! I'd throw away my own car too. I think they're stupid. This is the best engine they have because it's not the older one with a timing belt. It's got the timing chain. They virtually can last forever. So we'll check it out. Push the L button. Of course, it starts right up. Leather interior is still in excellent shape. You can see these are comfy cars. There's space back here for the back. It isn't tiny. And 120,000 miles is nothing on one of these. Put it in gear. Still idles like a dream. And you can tell, the engine's smooth. It's not shaking. Now, you're always going to hear a little bit of cam rolling in them. That's just the noise the engines make as they age. Now, this man was smart. He had somebody check it out before he bought it. Unlike the guy that brought me to Lexus a couple weeks ago, where he overpaid, bought it from a Toyota dealer of all places, and it was misfiring. He watched the video. When I took the spark plugs out, they were just coated with carbon. The engine had not been maintained. It was an oil burner. And it made quite a bit of noise because the oil wasn't changed enough. They're excellent cars, but like any used car, pay a real mechanic to check it out before you buy, because you can get screwed 7 ways to Sunday, especially with a luxury car. When I was a young mechanic, rich guy that ran a private company in Lewiston, New York, he drove nothing but Cadillacs, and he did no maintenance. He never even changed the oil on his Cadillacs because he said, I got a new one every 2 years. I felt sorry for the people that were buying his Cadillacs used when he traded them in because they weren't maintained at all. He smoked cigars and he didn't even empty his ashtrays. When we washed his car, we had to do that. He did no maintenance on the car at all. So you're buying a used luxury car, a lot of times the guys don't maintain them at all. So you gotta make sure to have a mechanic check it out before you buy it. Now let's go inside and see if his mechanic is worth his salt. We'll run my scan tool. Auto scan. That's what it is, 2011 Lexus. We'll do an automatic scan. It's going through 35 different systems. Now there's some codes, stuff that'll often break on these, and you really won't care. Such as the navigation system. The ABS system isn't working right, so the navigation system will often have problems too. You can see there's actually quite a few codes on that, even though there's no lights coming on. So I can be sure that at some point in time, somebody did not reset this thing. I see it all the time, so I'm going to turn it off. Then just put the idiot lights on with the key on, so that the lights come on. And we will clear all the trouble codes. Codes are all gone. When we drive it later, we'll see if there's any hard codes that come back. But for the time being, we're going to restart it. and check live data. We'll go to system selection. We'll look at the engine. F sensor's good. Everything so far is looking pretty good. Short-term fuel trim, 0.78. That's not much. Now the long-term fuel trim, it's adding 7.8 on bank 1. And on bank 2, it's adding 6.2. So long term, it's running a little bit lean, and it's adding a little bit of fuel. Now it's running perfectly fine, and he's getting good gas mileage. Probably the fuel injectors are just running a little bit lean. They might need cleaning. But I'll tell you something. From my experience, a car like this, sometimes it's better to leave it alone. Because I've had it where I've cleaned things out. And guess what happened? He gets worse gas mileage. Runs a little richer, the gas mileage will go down. Now the Lambda is almost perfect. 1.00 is perfect. You see it's pretty close to 1.00, just a little bit off. Motors are working practically perfectly. One's 347.1, 0.3, 347.5, almost exactly the same temperature. No emissions DTC, so it'll pass the test if you need to get it inspected. See the misfire counts for all the cylinders, 0. It's not misfiring at all. Engine speed of all 6 cylinders is exactly the same. 51,199 average, not even off 1. So yes, this thing's in immaculate shape. We'll take it for a little ride, see how it handles. That's an 11-year-old Lexus, but hey, still got a decent backup camera, as old as it is. And you got a nice height SUV. Rides like a dream. Has plenty of power for get up and go, and it handles quite well. The suspension's good. We'll hit the brakes pretty hard. It stops on a dime. Handles the twisty roads quite fine, and we'll come to our little drag strip up here, and let's see how it takes off. Takes off pretty good. Traction control's coming on because I was going so fast and tried to slip. Excellent shape. The electronically shifting transmission shifts perfectly fine. These are solid made vehicles that can last a long time. He made a smart move trading in 2 Nissans for 2 of these, and he only had to fork out $9 grand total for all the payments, tax, everything. The suspension's in excellent shape. You let go of the steering wheel, it tracks fine. Handles good. Corners. Takes the bumps. Maybe 11 years old, but it doesn't feel it. So let's just say the Canadians knew what they were doing when they built this thing. Part 2, they didn't get that one Lexus by trading in the Nissans and 9,000 bucks. They got 2. This is the second one. Had 101,000 miles on it when they got it. And you can see it's in excellent shape. Wheels are still in good shape. It's an ES 350, one of the best of the V6 engines Toyota ever made. As we open it up, we look inside. What does it say? My favorite. Made in Japan. So it's a 2011. Same as the other one. Now, as we look inside, the interior's in excellent shape. Got the out sunroof. That's what we're going to use today. We start it up. Of course, it starts right up. Okay, the tire pressure monitoring system isn't working right. It's got the light on. It's the same color as my wife's car. That gold really holds up. Same engine, really, as the other one. Got the timing chain. And like the other one, the old beauty cover's been thrown away. Hurrah! These headlights have actually held up better. They're nice and shiny. They're not all fogged up. And like I said, you'll always hear a little noise. That's the typical noise these things are going to make. And we'll hook up the old scan tool. That's what it is, ES350. And we'll do a scan. It's got all kinds of codes. Startability, passenger, solar fitter, driver, all kinds of crazy stuff. Since it runs perfectly fine, work's been done on this one. It says startability, invariably means the battery was low or something. It's been changed. They hadn't reset it, so we're going to reset this one too. It's the same. You just turn them off. Then turn them so the idiot light's on. There's the idiot lights. Click, clear all DTCs, and now it's going to clear them all. And as you can see, they're all gone now. The only thing left is the tire pressure monitoring system. And in this case, from age, the batteries have drained. A couple of the sensors aren't working anymore, and the other ones will be on their last legs. The machine says that the batteries are getting weak in those two. The batteries just wear out in those things. Tire pressure gauges are cheap. Just buy one. You can ignore that stuff unless you want to spend a whole bunch of money for that stupid warning system that you can easily check with a tire pressure gauge. We'll check out the live data, see what kind of shape the engine's in. And here we go. Now this one, the long-term fuel trim, it's adding 3.9%. So it's also running a little bit lean, but half as lean as the other one because it was 6-point-something%. A lot of them will run lean as they age. Like I say, you start messing with it, you get them to run not lean at all, but you're gonna get worse gas mileage. A lot of people just leave them this way. Lambda is almost perfect. It's 0.9901. It was perfect there for a second. It's only off a few thousand, so that's pretty good. Just as the other one, all 6 cylinders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Had 0 misfires. Engine speed of all the cylinders are exactly the same. 51,199. All exactly the same. So let's take this one for a spin. Again, it's got a decent backup camera. Now, of course, being a 4-door sedan, it's lower to the ground, but I actually enjoy driving these more. They got much better handling. They're nice and quiet inside, even though it's 11 years old with 102,000 miles on it. Quiet as can be, still handles like a dream. Handles a lot better than the SUV. It's a luxury sedan. And being lower, it gets a little bit better gas mileage. It's more aerodynamic. Still not great. You know, you're going to get in the 20s in one of these things. And of course, you hit the brakes hard. It stops with no noise at all other than my computer falling off the seat. As you wait for people zooming by, it's like a magic carpet riding one of these things. Handles the twisties with no problems at all. As we come to our little drag strip here, let's see what happens when we step on the gas. Tires are spinning. Traction control comes out just like the other one. The electronically controlled tranny shifts like a dream. It's a marvelous car. You want to go, you step on the gas, it goes, no problem. But that just shows you. They traded stuff in at a Carvana, old Nissans that they didn't particularly like with CVT transmissions for these 2 Lexuses, and the only thing he had to shell out was $9 grand tax for the tax, title, license in the 2 vehicles. You can still get deals if you look around. Don't be forewarned if you're looking for a used car. Used car yourself, even those crappy Nissans with the CVTs, those places are dying to get cars to sell. They'll buy them off you. Things aren't as bad as you might think. There's still deals out there if you use your head. Have a mechanic check it out. You can always make out in a used car market if you take your time and use your head. Some fool at Carvana paid way too much for those Nissans. I can guarantee you that. But they came out ahead getting these 2 beautiful Lexuses for that kind of money. Deals are still out there. You just have to take your time and find them. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.